Hello friends, it's Lindsay Satterfield and this is take two. I had to end the last Facebook Live quickly, so I'm back here and we'll start again. And I wanted to come on here today because I missed you yesterday. I had another appointment that I had to attend to. So I wanted to come here today to give you a very quick productivity tip around mindset. It's a way to make a mindset shift. Now, when I look at myself and my own performance and just working with people over the years, what I have come to find out, the secret to productivity is mindset. So many of the barriers or so many of the reasons that we don't achieve our goals, that things go a little haywire, has much more to do with our mindset than we usually think of. In fact, in the Power Start program that I am currently running right now, there is a week in which we focus on mindset as a skill set to cultivate and develop for goal achievement. And it's the one lesson, or maybe one of the lessons, that people think, oh, I'll do that later, not so important. And to me, it is the critical one. In fact, when I was creating the Power Start program last year, in preparation, before I created it, I asked people, what was something that, for a goal that they've achieved, what was behind that achievement? So for a goal that they've achieved, what contributed to that achievement? And the corollary, for a goal that you had but didn't achieve, what contributed to your not achieving it? And what was so fascinating and actually surprising to me was that almost every single answer that I got had to do with mindset. So it's really critical if you're thinking about how can I improve my productivity, support my productivity, have the impact that I want. You need to become a master of your own mindset. So I have this very quick technique for shifting a mindset, and that is turn your challenge into your competitive advantage. So think about a challenge that you have, something that's difficult, whether it's something you can control or not. Think of a challenge that you have, and how could you let that thing be a competitive advantage? Would it require you getting extra skill? Would it require you standing up for a point of view in a way that you wouldn't normally? Would it require that you put boundaries, effective boundaries, helpful boundaries in a situation? Would it strengthen your productivity somehow? So think about a challenge that you have, and how can I turn that into a competitive advantage? Now, the other day I spoke about Kobe Bryant's book that I recently got called The Mamba Mentality, How I Play. And one of the stories that he tells in the book is an injury he had, I believe, in April of 2013, an Achilles heel injury that was incredibly, obviously, painful. And what he said about it was that he had been thinking at that point about his own career arc, and that his, physical body wasn't going to be lasting forever to play at the level of play he needed to. So he was thinking about his retirement. And then when this injury happened, he made it what he called, I made it my Mount Everest. He then trained extra hard and was so determined that he wouldn't let an injury, this challenge, be the reason that he retired, that he would retire of his own power, of his own choice. And so he made this injury, a huge challenge, become his Mount Everest, and it only reinforced his level of training. So think about your own life, think about your own work, think about the goals that you have, and notice, where do you talk about a challenge that you have? Where do you talk about a challenge that you have? And then see if you can turn it into a competitive advantage. See if you can turn it into a competitive advantage. I know you can. So if you have a challenge, and also think about, because what happens with those things that are challenges is they become our excuses. And they become the reason why we don't do X, Y, or Z, or we don't perform at the level that we think we should. So, are you in a work environment that's not that you consider toxic, or that you consider not productive? So you could turn that into your competitive advantage in a lot of different ways. You could look at, is there a way that you need to develop some skill and leadership to have greater influence in the environment? Do you need to look for a new job? All those are power moves that can lead to your competitive advantage instead of it being an excuse for not being able to do something. So use your excuses as fuel for becoming better. And it's just a helpful sort of mental exercise of looking at what is it that is getting in my way that I'm calling a challenge and potentially using as an excuse. And could I reframe this in a way that would be my competitive advantage? So I hope you think about that. If you have anything you'd like to share, I would certainly love to hear it, how you've taken a challenge and made it a competitive advantage. And actually, that's a great thing to think about. I bet you can look back on your life at challenges and see how it was your competitive advantage, that you did use it that way. So think about that little mental game, that little mental shift that can really change your energy, your attitude, and your actions. Have a great day, and I will see you next Tuesday.